Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sensitive topic. Uh, Today let's be a little bit grown up and talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about. I remember that song was used as a advert here in Kenya for condoms when we were young. The main condoms being trust, and it's a taboo topic, especially in Africa. Our parents don't talk about it, and people just decide on experimenting, which is not so good because you might experiment it and backfires on you, and also give you a bad experience. Um, for me, I remember when I was not I was a preteen when I was 12 when I got my first period, and my mom had to have the talk. And the talk for her, it was not a talk because it was so weird. It was be like, oh, she sat me down. Now that you're a woman, you should not play around with boys. What do you mean? Play games, sports. And that's why I even think in primary school, that's why some girls, after getting their first period, they'll start acting skittish and not interacting with the guys that much. Maybe because the parents or the mother especially, or the guardian who's the female mentor, told them not to play with guys. And my mom told me it was so awkward. You're a flower, you need to protect your flower. I got it. Then she was like, okay, this is not working. To make it weird is she's a counselor and she counsels other women, but when it comes to your own child, it's difficult to express that. And I feel it's high time we stop making it a taboo topic to talk about it, or to talk to your teenagers or preteens before they go and find out for themselves. So my mom had a plan. She was like, okay, me talking to you, it's kind of weird, but then she looked for youth programs that talk about chastity, abstinence, and all that. So I was at 12, the first youth conference I went. Mind you, I was tall for my age, so I blended in well with the older guy, high school students, and that back then I was in class 6. So yeah, but I didn't, before even anyone asked me how old I am, they just judged me by my height, and as they said, I was too mature for my age. So it, not body wise, okay, body wise and also reasoning wise. So that was either a plus for me or awkward for that topic. So I went, there was the retreat for youth. It was organized by an organization called AJAM, Abstinence for Jesus Ministry, something of the sort. And I remember the first day, it was mind blowing for a very innocent 12-year-old who didn't know ways of men and didn't know this is what people talk about in retreats. This is my first retreat, and the first topic was about sex and exposure to sex at early ages. And the first speaker who spoke about it, really, it was mind blowing, because they said, it was a testimony, and then from their testimony they gave the experience. And since it was public, I'll just say the story. The story was, she was young. Her mom was had her mom was working as a woman of the streets, if you know what I mean. And she'll say, she explained it that she knew about sex through her mom, seeing her mom. They used to live in a one room house, and her mom used to bring her clientels in the house. So they will be told, she will be told to, and her sibling, I think she had a brother, to sit outside when the clientels came. So they'll hear noises, and sometimes they will see through the window. And then also, her mom had A to Z of pornography in the house. So she will watch it and even tell her neighbor kids, like friends, where they were living. And they'll watch, and it opened her, like, to try it. Why, if my mom is doing it, why not me? And then sadly, she got abused by some of the clientels, and her mom did nothing. She was just, her mom was actually was justifying it. If I can do it, you can do it too, to feed this family. So that's what she grew up with. And when she grew up to a teen, to her teen years, she learned, not learned, through the experience she had that was so traumatizing, she hated men, and she started dating women. Not saying that every lesbian or any gay, some of them have traumatic experience, and then some, some of them, not all, but for her, that's what happened to her. And then later on, she realized something about herself, is she didn't have a stable relationship. She moved from one person to the next. Then she after high school and university, she started dating men. And then she saw that, again, she saw she could not sustain a relationship, because she never knew how to have a stable relationship, and even intimacy. She never knew how to have intimacy beyond uh, sex drive and changing. No, she according to her words, she was becoming more promiscuous, and she didn't understand it, and also she thought there's something missing in her life. So she sought out therapy, and she started understanding how she interacts and how she hurt even her partners by either being promiscuous or cheating on them. And then that's how she first stopped and decided, let me be chaste for a while to learn myself, herself. And then from there, she started advocating for youths to remain abstain, chaste. Now, me being 12 years, that's the first thing I heard about sex in that notion. Then the second spoke out. It was about drugs and sex, and hers was more hardcore. If you thought the first one was hardcore, this other one was wow. Oh, she, it was a lady too. She said she came from the slum, one of the slum areas, and she grew up also around. Her mom was also, her mother was an illicit brew maker and seller. So she also got abused by one of the uh, buyers for the illicit brews, not just one, a couple. So she grew up being hard, like stone cold, and she will also self-medicate by taking hard drugs. And sooner or later, when she became a teen, she dated a thug. Yeah, the story just, it didn't become nice. It started off this like worse, and then went worst. So when she was dating a thug, she would also be in the crew of the thug, and also take the hard drugs so that she can numb herself, so that they can go and do the jobs they were doing. And after the job, she was still numb. She'll sleep even with the gang members, not only their boyfriend and the other. It was so crazy. I'm 12, and I'm like, and then after those two spoke, we are told to make a group of uh, the other youths, and then we were given topics to discuss about sex and how hey, and what to do in such circumstances, and also what not to do in such circumstances. And during the discussion, I was meek. Let me not lie. I am meek until when you say something that is not factual, and I will correct you with confidence. So that made me be told to become the spokesperson of that group, and it's with people I've never met. Yeah, that's just me. So yeah, I did present the topic that we had, and yeah, so that's how I was introduced about the sex topic. So my mom, I thank God for her for doing that. If parents can't be able, there's seminars that offer such talks, and of lately I've seen a decline on it, which is sad to say, because basically you're telling us that the young kids are learning it through internet and learning it through themselves, or experimenting, and what have you. And we have also heard of sad stories of other parents abusing other parents' children, and also other parents abusing their own children in the house. So it's a sensitive topic for that, and also for learning about it uh, through what I grew up knowing and how I was taught. When my sister came of age, my mom tried also to talk to her about it. It was so funny. My sister came and explained. Mom was trying to talk and just beating her, and I was like, "Okay, let me talk to you." I did talk to my sister, which is a plus to having an elder sister and being open with your sisters. Also, it can help on that note, but I'm sad to hear about the children being abused. It's now more, some people are making it a norm, which is sad, because kids needs to be kids, and they need to live the life of innocence and grow up um, with the learning curve, not just introduced it by being abused or being used and misused. It's sad for that. Other than that, yeah. So for us who are not parents yet, I'm hoping and praying that when we do have kids, we have them talks, the talks about sex regularly, and also don't shy away from it. Right now, and we shy away from it, and we say, oh yeah, sex sells in the advertisement department, or sex sells in movies and series and all that. And yet you cannot sit down and tell them, okay, when you when this happened, which way is right and which way is wrong, and also precautions like the condoms. I didn't know there were female condoms until I was in college, because the advertisements in television and the ads in television were only specifying about trust and the other condoms like Durex and all that, and they never showed us the Femi condoms. When I went to college, that I now know why. I now understand why. Because that thing is big and it's very uncomfortable to put in. More uncomfortable than the tampons and the pap smear. Yeah, that's giving you the broad explanation about it. And we were showing how it is. Oh, it was so like, ooh, cringy. Now I know why even in the pharmacy or the supermarket they're not sold. That's another thing, because they're told in the, why can you put a silencer on a gun? Yeah, that's the wrong narrative to think about it. But anyway, so yeah, here's my point. At 12, that's when I learned about sex, and the bad side of the sex and substance abuse. At 19, that's when I learned there are female condoms in college. Yeah, I was still a virgin when I entered college. I hmm. And then it's funny when you sit with your friends, you can talk about sex and joke about it, but when you sit with your child, whom you're supposed to protect, you cannot even say about, oh yeah, touching me, telling a kid that no one is supposed to touch them until they're old enough and old enough to make decisions. It's sad, but we need to do better and yeah, do better and be better. That's it. Today no one commented, but I thought that topic needed to be spoken about because it's rarely spoken about. But there's a channel I've watched on YouTube. It's called what? But they talk about sex and all the goods and the bad. They talk about sex, relationships, and struggles that the youth go through. So yeah, I hope there are other retreat centers that happen and spread the word about sex education. It's needed. And we have heard of the statistics that kids in primary school as early as 9 years are doing sex, having sex, either with their age mates or they are having it or being uh, being used by older people, which is sad. And it's just sad. Yeah. That's all I had for today. In case of any topics you need me to tackle, you can inbox me, you can comment down below, subscribe, and be here every Tuesday. Oh, and there's a surprise coming soon. Hope you join. Um, High possibility this Saturday we'll have something new for you guys. Not just the music, but yeah, I'll keep you guessing. A little bit guessing. Bye.